Max? Ma'am? Can you bring me a sparkling water? And you choose. Hey guys. Okay, so you've been warned. I put on the... Here, can you put that one in the recycle?
Sure.
Thanks, Papucho. Okay, so I have been waiting to watch, and just like that, I tried to stay away from as many spoilers as I can, or as I could, I should say. But I saw all the hubbub about the Peloton, and I was like, okay, obviously someone dies, and it's too early for Stanny to die, because I knew when he died during filming. So I figured, like, they were not going to want her to be married. They were not going to want her to be married because what people love about Carrie is her perspective on relationships. And being married, this whole show would not have made sense. And I understand that. But I was not... I understand from a plot perspective and a story perspective why they had to do what they did, why they had to kill off Big. But the way that they shot the show, between Lily's beautiful piano performance and Big riding the bike and back and forth, and the tension they were creating, the escalation with the music, and him, just the whole thing, and just realizing how, your life can change in a minute. Like, and just like that is really the truth. And when she came home, the fact that the writers gave us the ending where no, she should not have called 911, because it needed to go the way it needed to go. And no, it wasn't that he didn't want to be in the show. That wasn't it at all. It really doesn't fit the character. The character is... Carrie Bradshaw is our lens through finding love, dating, figuring ourselves out, making mistakes, repeating mistakes until they haunt us. And having her be married, it just doesn't fit the character. It doesn't make sense for a reboot. But it was so... Anyway, I'm not going to argue about what the writers were thinking or weren't thinking, but just the beautiful way that he waited for her to come back to that apartment and that she got to that. Just holy shit. I don't know about you guys, but the whole thing took me out. And it was, wow. I cried, and I cried the second episode. I thought the funeral was beautiful, and I have to be honest with you. I don't really know how I feel like 100% about. Hi, babe. What you doing? I don't really know 100% about how I feel about the whole Samantha thing. Like, I don't know. I hope they don't bring her up again, to be honest, because at this point it's like, stop bringing her up. We all know why she's not on the show. She didn't want to be, and she doesn't like you guys. So stop pretending she lives in London and she's sending cards and shit. Let's just stop. Let's leave that alone now. But anyway, what I will tell you is that in that moment, I felt incredibly grateful for my girlfriends. And I love, and Stanny. I mean, I love, oh, guys, please don't read into whether she called 911 or did CPR or whatever. She's Carrie fucking Bradshaw, okay? The show is not depicting what you should really do in case of a heart attack. This is not Grey's Anatomy or ER. It's Sex and the City, and Carrie is a train wreck most of the time. If you're disappointed in how she handled her husband's heart attack, she's Carrie. Oh my God, she can't get her shit together. Anyway, I cried and I sobbed. Just really, I think, for the end of an era, because, in a lot of people's minds, Carrie and Big could have been together forever, right? But having him die is like so final. But the writing is so good, and the fashion is back, and I don't know exactly where it's all going with everything. But, look, it's a different time. These women are in their 50s in a very different time. And I thought that Miranda's sort of ramble in class was a very real thing for women in their 50s who want to be sensitive to the more considerate way of conversation with people of other races, but like they don't know how. And unless you have people who teach you, and unless you have friends of other races who teach you, you don't know. And many of us do bumble through conversation or ramble and say the wrong thing or worry that we've said the wrong thing. And so I like that they're using Miranda to show like how hard it is to be in your 50s in a very different climate than it was when we watched this show over a decade ago. And yeah, over a decade, well over. Whew. So now we'll get to see Carrie start the second half of her life over. And I think that's really interesting. And I love these characters. And look, there are going to be people who pick the show apart and people who say, I don't like it. It's not like the other show. It's not meant to be. We can't stay who we were, right? I happen to love these characters. I happen to love the kids older. They're so messy and real. When Charlotte was trying to get Rose to wear that dress, I felt it in my molecules. Honestly, I felt it in my molecules. And I've just been there. I've been there trying to get my kid to wear something that I want her to wear that she doesn't want to wear. And having Michael come in and be like, why can't she just wear what she wants to wear? And me being like, and Brady, that's very real. My kids are not 17 yet, but I have friends with older teenage sons, and it's very real. They want to be with their girlfriends all the time. Now, are they like smashing like that? I don't know. I don't ask. But I'll tell you who's not going to be smashing like that in my house where I can fucking hear it is Max. Okay? Now, maybe he's going to be smashing like that in my house when I'm not home and can't be around to hear it. But ain't no way he's going to be fucking banging into my wall. So that's a negative. But I'm not judging Miranda because... Anyway, I'm just saying we're going to have to talk about this show every week because I got a lot to say. I also think it's really funny that Carrie has a podcast because that's so real right now. It's like the new thing and everyone has one. And look, I have one and I listen to podcasts when I walk and I love them. And I listen to ones about screenwriting and I listen to all different ones, but that's not Carrie. It's true. It's not her. And she's going to try to step her pussy up and I love it for her, but it's not her. So we'll see where that goes. I'm curious. I have a few predictions, but I don't want to ruin the show for anyone because I think I'm a little inside baseball sometimes. So I'm going to keep my predictions to myself. But I think I have an idea of where it all goes. But we need to watch together each week and come back and discuss. Because there's lots of discussion. Anyway, I love you guys. Not watching any farther, done. Okay. Not for you. Look, it's not going to be for everybody. And they knew that. And that's okay. We're talking about, and just like that, the Sex and the City reboot on HBO Max. It's not going to be for everybody. And that's okay. It was the highest rated show on HBO Max yet. So they're doing fine. The people that don't want to watch it, we get it. It's not for everyone. A lot of people don't want to talk about woke stuff or masturbation or whatever. I do. So we will meet every week and we will talk about this show because it needs to be discussed. So if you're in my little club, we will be in this club together and we will do it just like that club. But I was not prepared for his death, even though I had an idea that that's what was coming based on the Peloton discussion. But which by the way, if you're wondering what the discussion was, a lot of people Peloton was basically saying that they were not aware that their bike was going to be used in a death scene. And, okay, Robin, you're making comments here with a group of people who are excited about the show. And I understand that you didn't like it. And I respect that very much, but we do like it. And we want to talk about it. And maybe this conversation is just maybe not the best conversation for you because you didn't like it. And that's okay. And I want you to know that I absolutely heard you the first 2 times. I promise. But anyway, so Peloton is like angry. And here's the thing. The lesson there is read the fine print of the contract. Like, you want your product placement, and it's on, Lee, it's on HBO Max. But somebody at Peloton is got a lot of explaining to do if the company is mad about it, because someone signed a product placement contract for that Peloton to be in the show. And someone didn't pay attention to the storyline. But anyway, I was not prepared, even though I had an idea that that's what was coming. And I loved Big so much, and I love them together, ever mine, ever thine, ever ours. And I just was not prepared for him to die. That's just it. I just was not prepared. It knocked the wind out of me. I actually stood here and paced back and forth and cried the whole time. I cried. And for those of you who are watching this video and you haven't watched yet, I tried to give as many warnings as I could. But anyway, every week, new episode this Thursday. And then Friday, we will come together Friday morning and we will talk, or Friday at some point. I love you guys so much. It's Peloton really should have read their contract. That's not on the writers. I've done product placement before. They send you the pilot breakdown so you know what's happening in the pilot. They didn't read it, or they read it and they didn't care, and now they care. Anyway, I cried. I cried. All right, I love you guys so much. Cry together. Have a great, great night.